So what are the kind of metrics or analyses that we can do to support these kind of discussions? I think this is really an area where you will find you have the most difficulty in gathering your data points. And I would say that most of us will be working in organizations where you might have a few of these data available to you, and you might need to actually start the process in the beginning to start collecting this data. Some of the kind of things that you can do right in the beginning to make sure you set up this data pipeline and are able to collect the kind of feedbacks you need to be able to support these discussions are as many surveys as you can do to measure employee engagement. These surveys can be done at various points of time in an employee's life cycle. So you could do feedback surveys right after a person gets hired. You could do surveys after they get onboarded. Maybe you could run some kind of touch points with them at various periodic intervals. Once they've been with you for a few months, maybe once they've been with you for a few years, and then after every single inflection in their relationship with you. So when a person is considered for a promotion, feedback on whether how the whole process went, whether they got promoted or not promoted. Every time there is a change in a manager, these are the kind of feedbacks that you can collect. And what you will find is that when you start doing this kind of analysis in the beginning, there will be a lot of sparse data available to you. So your initial discussions with your leadership will need to be to create this compelling case on why you need these data points. So start collecting them, and then over a few months, you will have much larger data to work with, and then you will be able to fine-tune what data is more important than other data. Similarly, often there is sparse data available on participation of events. So often HR runs a lot of events. There's a lot of work that they're doing. There are, festivals that are being celebrated. There are corporate parties that are happening. There are project level events that are happening. But often data of attendance and participation within these events gets missed out. This is another very, very critical data that you need to start collecting in a structured, usable way. So make sure that you're able to have this conversation, because this kind of participation in events that are happening, social interactions that are happening, go a long way in giving you these signals in how engaged an employee is with the with the organization. Similarly, you will find that there are certain employees who are excited about their work and who are willing to maybe spend time outside their business hours. Maybe they are spending some time studying over a weekend, improving their skill set on a Friday evening. And this data is another critical data point for you to be able to bring in to your analysis. And possibly you will find that there are very, very clear correlations that you're able to build between these kind of data points and the performance and potential of an employee. There are certain other activities which are depending upon your guidelines you might want to look into. So you might want to look into what are the social media activities of an employee. So how active are they on recruitment portals? What are they talking about on their LinkedIn social media pages? I would like to add a caveat here that these are slightly sensitive areas, because depending on the kind of culture that you're from, these can come very, very close to, treading on a person's private space. So be a little careful. It may feel like a very easy and attractive thing to do, to check whether a person has ticked that they are open for new opportunities on a job portal. But be careful about the kind of judgments that you form from it, and be a little careful about what actions you take basis that. In many cases, when it comes to forming these judgments, you might realize that rather than attributing this behavior to a single individual, which can seem like an invasion of their privacy, you want to anonymize this data and use it more to get a sense of how maybe a group of people are feeling as a whole. Similarly, you will find that these days it's all about the data. A person's life is so visible on the internet that there are many easy ways for you to find what a person is doing during their free time. This can be a very interesting analysis to run, but do make sure that you always see it through the lens of privacy, sensitivity, and making sure that you respect a person's boundaries.